Hey guys, this is a video on why I think Moira is a little bit of a problem in her current state and things that could be done to make her a little bit more enjoyable and to stop her being so oppressive at almost every single level of competitive gear and higher up as well, contenders and Overwatch League. This is mainly inspired from Gray's tweet the other day of his POV with his W that he picked up with his team. He drew a stick man, and his POV was just the left click, and that was it. It was just him left clicking the tanks, and that on paper looks pretty unenjoyable. And from a spectator's perspective, it's pretty unenjoyable to watch. Moira just hold left click permanently. It's kind of dull, unless she's coalescing. It's kind of meh. Also, Kariv's tweet from today, which was how he wants to make Moira more fun and more enjoyable in the game and actually require maybe a little bit of aim like Xayah Beam if you're holding a right click, but we'll get into that. I guess now we'll start with that one, why not? So Moira's right click is ridiculously forgiving, like absurd. It also has a rather inconsistent grasp range as well, it feels like. Sometimes you're getting grasped from across the map, it feels, and disconnecting from that grasp seems almost impossible, even if you're a little bit faster, like a Genji or a Tracer. It does feel like it's rather inconsistent. Also, it's a very strong dueling tool because you gain health and you gain your charge as well. Plus, it doesn't require much aim whatsoever. If it required something like Xayah level aiming, maybe that'll be a little bit too difficult, but it will definitely make the hero more enjoyable because it requires effort for you to actually perform a right click, and you dueling a Tracer, dueling a Genji, dueling whoever is in the backline, Doomfist, whatever, or even a tank, it will require you to actually do something other than just hold right click and kind of look at them, but not really. If it was like a Xayah Beam, where you had to be on them or near them, if you look at old Xayah with the ridiculously high charge, obviously the beam got bigger. If it was something like that, it would require you to maybe think a little bit more and have decent tracking in order to win these 1v1s. And more often than not now, and you'd have to go up against a pretty good Tracer, Genji, whatever, to get soloed out in one clip or soloed by the Genji comboing you, because you can just sit there, right-click, gain health back, and they are fighting a losing battle. If they they have to go for the one clip, or they have to go for the right-click dash as the Genji and then follow up with maybe a melee to kill you. Otherwise, they're going to have to get out of there because they're not healing themselves, and she is. So I think it requiring aim would make the hero more enjoyable. And it would also lessen the frustration, I think, for a lot of DPS players that try and actually duel the Moira. So yeah, that's one part of her insane kit. The other part is obviously her shift, which can get out of grab, which can get out of pulse bomb, which can get away from everybody. You go invisible, you have a speed boost, and it's on a ridiculously short cooldown for one of the best abilities in the game. That obviously coupled with the right click, you can easily duel people out because you can make yourself invulnerable, jump out behind them or out of their field of view, and you can go for almost round 2 where they have half HP and you have full HP because you've been right clicking the whole time. So her right click, I think, also needs to be more skill based than it is. I'm not entirely sure how you change the healing. I don't think healing right now is a problem for Moira. She is situational in terms of her healing. Double shield is very good for her because Coalescence and Orb went through shields. So that's why she was playing double shield meta, because Coalescence just destroys it. I'm not entirely convinced that she should be healing when she's coalescing because it almost makes her unkillable. But the problem with when you're coalescing and the weakness of it, thankfully, is that you can't use shift. But you are sped up and you are healing yourself. So it is very hard to take down a Moira normally unless you've got a Bio Grenade or a Widow, Hanzo, McCree, someone that can stun her. The healing, I think, should be removed from it. The speed up, so-so. I think maybe that needs to be adjusted, but I don't think the speed on it is a issue. But you shouldn't also feel invulnerable. Especially with double shield, she was basically invulnerable because you were stuck behind 2 shields and the enemy couldn't even get to you, so that wasn't actually a problem for her. Healing output in general, I don't think is an issue. She, like I said, is rather situational. She does a lot of AoE healing. The right-click orb, however, That is a different question. So it's a skill orb, like the skill orb, I think is a little bit absurd and it does too much damage. But then again, I don't think it's that much of an issue. I think there are definitely more insane parts of her kit, like her shift and like her not requiring to actually aim. I think the orb should be just left the way it is. It can be eaten, and your entire team, more often than not, is going to soak it. You're not going to get solo orbed most of the time. It is a frustrating ability to go against some of the time, but I don't think it's too much of an issue. Her ease of play is... This basically all wraps up in a nice little bow of like how easy she is to play, and therefore making her a little bit too effective at times at the higher echelons of play, i.e. contenders, i.e. Overwatch League, and 4.4 plus. And a hero with that much of an oppressive kit, plus her ease of access, makes her one of the best heroes to play in things like Double Shield. And you'd normally want to see someone pick up something like an Ana or a Zen, because those heroes require a lot more skill. The more skill a hero requires, they should have a bigger impact in the game. Moira, on the other hand, has a ridiculously low skill level or to be competent with the hero, and therefore makes it almost a must pick because it's hard to fail with the hero. And that's where we saw a lot of Moira players and a lot of Moira one-tricks kind of rise through the ranks after her being a must pick in Double Shield. So that is just my thoughts on what could be done to fix Moira. And if I didn't say already, increase the cooldown on shift. It's too absurd currently. I'd like to know your thoughts down in the comments, or just, tweeting it at me or whatever. But other than that, go follow my Instagram and Twitter. They're up here. Thank you guys, and I'll see you soon.